Hello everybody, this is TP Gaming coming to you from Melbourne, Australia, down the south, Victoria, pretty much, pretty low down in Australia. So how is everybody? We have 7:46 in the morning. We have Melbourne fresh from the press, straight down to us, available, made thanks to around about $27, and we've invested that very quickly, and hopefully we can bring to you a new experience, new airport. We'll see how we go. What I've chosen this morning is we'll put this a little bit, maybe make it a little bit bigger here so we have more opportunities. I have chosen to have runway 27 for all arrivals, and I'm going to have runway 34 for departures, just to see how things are going. We'll see how we are. Many new aircrafts that are here in Australia, which I don't know as yet, so there may be a bit of a problem there. But I know already that this airport is certainly not that easy to play, I must admit, even with this timetable, the regular timetable that they have given us. I've already played about 30 minutes beforehand on a live stream, but unfortunately that video is gone. I pressed the wrong button, so that was pretty stupid of me. So we're going to do a video. This is so at least we got a general idea. It was very difficult. After 30 minutes I pretty much was stuck, but let's try and make it better. What are we doing? Clock is on, we're working on it. Let's get here some live shots and get this airport going. Velocity 815, pushback approved, expect runway 34.
Ground 34, pushback approved, velocity 815.
And so it takes about 15 minutes for this to really start to kick off. I had some issues with some aircrafts which I haven't known before. I've have a general idea of some of them, but I don't know, it turned up quite a bit. So after saying about 15-20 minutes, there's quite a bit of action going from arrivals and departures and so forth.
Tower, United 908 with you, runway 27.
United 908, runway 27 clear to land.
Runway 27 cleared to land, United 908.
I have, however, twerked and tweaked this a little bit by not opening up runway 34, the one that you see from the bottom going to the top. I've pretty much cancelled all large aircrafts out. They may start, but they may not land. So I need to get used to this airport, because apart from all the other airports I've played so far, I didn't believe I was going to get stuck so quickly. That was quite amazing. So, and another situation which bothers me is having the planes coming in from top to bottom or bottom to top. For some reason I don't like that. I prefer having them running from left to right and not from top to bottom.
Ground, velocity 815 ready to taxi.
Velocity 815, runway 34 at Juliet.
Runway 34 at Juliet, velocity 815.
Since there's a lot of high density of arrivals coming in, there are quite a few conflicts with the cross runways. I have not figured out on whether it may be possible if you were to start from runway 16, since this runway is so long, if it is possible to line up planes up here going down south or north. I don't know which area. What do we have now? North is there, so going up south. On whether if that is actually possible, because they may be landing at around this area here. I don't know. Unfortunately, we cannot find out. We just can't get to that area here. But it does look like that there are lights all the way towards the end here. So see this is a little bit lighter here. It's like more white, and sometimes that means that they are not allowed to land. And if that is so, that they're only allowed to land around about here, then you could line up planes up here and let them start quickly in succession, and using the gaps between aircrafts with landing, because otherwise when you have such a high velocity and volume of planes coming down so quickly, and you need large aircrafts need plenty of time to finally get going, that is simply just not possible. Just like the St. Thomas Airport, where you really need to line them up and have them start as soon as they get off the runway, and that would probably that's why Gulf would probably come into effect when these planes come down. They will have plenty of time to arrive and get off Echo or get off Gulf, because if they have to run all the way down to J, this is just way too long. So maybe that is the trick in Melbourne. I do not know. I am not sure. I'll have to find out about that. Romeo Golf, November Tango 13, runway 27 clear to land. Velocity 815, runway 34 cleared for takeoff upon reaching altitude 3000, contact departure.
Runway 34 cleared for takeoff upon reaching altitude 3000, contact departure velocity 815. Runway 27 cleared to land Romeo Golf November Tango 13.
What I might do is I might have one of the next planes that is just around up this area here. I'm going to push them up the top here and let them to get off here. Maybe we are fortunate enough to have a look and see what this area looks like. We can't do anything about the cameras, but we'll see. We'll have a look. See up here, you've got white runways here as well, but you do not have any stop lines saying, oh, you need to land from up here. So that could be the reason as well. Well, let's have a look. Let's have a look and see how this works out, and why they are actually doing, as you can see here, this is a line for taxiing. I don't know why they do that. That's this line here, up here and across here. And if you have planes that telling planes from here to go to 27, they actually take this route down here and all the way back up there, which means they're actually touching the runway down here. So that is unbelievable. Okay, now we do have a Qantas flight there, so we're going to push Qantas flight up to the top. Qantas 412, pushback approved. Expect runway 16.
Ground 16, pushback approved.
We only have
Kansas
2 knots, so we
12.
can start in any direction that we want. It doesn't really matter that much. We'll see how we go. And interesting factors as well, that there are small aircraft slowing down quite a bit, so you need to be careful for larger aircraft to catch up on them. So the spacing is difficult at some situation, especially when it gets busy. But yeah, we'll see how we go. We'll just find out how things are. So we have our first arrival, giving us our 20 points in a second. Qantas 412, runway 16.
Runway 16, canvas 412.
So this runway is quite short. It certainly will not allow us to have arrivals from large aircrafts, international aircrafts. We are cutting down quite a bit on that one, but we'll see. So United is slowly moving towards the end. So unfortunately, it seems that they have not done the taxiways very well. the other one was too short, November was too short, and Mike is too far, and this taxiing takes forever and a day, and that will certainly bring into effect that other aircrafts that you would like to start on 27 behind him will be certainly some bother if you use that runway. United 908, taxi to terminal via Echo. Where is he going to anyway? He's going down
United
there.
908.
Okay. United 908, taxi to terminal via Mike Echo Tango 1.
Taxi to terminal via Mike Echo Tango 1. United 908.
We'll just mucking around now here for just a little bit to see how things are going. So how is everybody? Thank you very much for your comments in the past, and thank you for watching my videos. Appreciate it. Nice graphics. I believe this is just a lot better than I believe than it was before. But then again, as you can see, they are not following the lines. They are still going their own way. Oh well. Let's not criticize too much, eh? Everything's good. So this may handicap us from getting plenty of aircrafts coming down, but we need to find out about this. Maybe we'll just change it a little bit later and then bring 16 in as well, runway 16, the one from the top to the bottom that we'll be using for this situation that we have here now. Getting Qantas up here, trying to follow him and see how we go, because we can always go to him. We'll see how we go. I already noticed that there was plenty more aircrafts coming down when I used runway 34, so that certainly has a big effect at the moment. But we need to find out. Only one way, doing it the hard way if necessary.
Howard, Malaysian 149 nerd with you. Runway 27.
Malaysian 149, runway 27 clear to land.
Runway 27 cleared to land. Malaysian 149 nerd.
Okay, he's coming in very slow. Now I do hope that he is not going to take runway A, Alpha. Let's have a look at him. He's very slow. I don't want to delete him, but he's still running. He's not giving the landing sign, so he should go past. Come on, go past. Go, 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 boy. And he is. Wow. Qantas 412, continue taxi.
Continue taxi.
United 908, continue taxi.
Continue taxi. United 908.
So as you can see, the runways are certainly horrible from the taxiways, because he's just going to taxi, taxi, taxi on this runway forever and a day. Wow. I've been to Melbourne once because I needed to change planes there. Usually I used to live in Australia. When I used to live in Australia, I used to live in Brisbane. Romeo Golf, November Tango 13, taxi to terminal via November Echo Alpha.
Taxi to terminal via November Echo Alpha Romeo Golf November Tango 13.
And yeah, so usually I came through Manila or Singapore. 3 years ago, or not 2 years ago, when I went last, I went through Dubai for the first time. I've never been to Dubai before. Flew in with Emirates.
Tower, Coke A134 requesting push and start.
So United is going in there. Cathay 134, pushback approved. Expect runway 34.
Ground, 34 pushback approved. Coke A134.
We have a look and see at Qantas. I just can't see, unfortunately. Well, maybe when he is starting, we may be able to get a camera shot from when he's on top, whilst he's standing there. So then we may have an opportunity to see on whether there are any markings on the ground to let us know that we can line up. Let's see how we go. Qantas 412, runway 16, line up and wait.
Runway 16 line up and wait, canvas for 12.
Okay, maybe I did a mistake there with Cathay. Hopefully he's going to continue to move backwards. Maybe I should have waited then until United was in. Yep, Cathay light is going back on again, so that's good. So let's see what Qantas is doing up the top there. Unfortunately, we can't zoom in any closer. Maybe if I just see if we are fortunate to get a shot of him. There we go. Yes. Excellent. So we do have the starting line there. Unfortunately, it's not gonna be possible. We have to wait for Malaysian to come down. We're just going to use that time and just let this wait for a little second for Malaysia to come down, so we do not lose the sight of this picture here that we have. So Malaysian is out about 2 miles, 1.5 miles now, but it does look like, having the zebra crossing here, that there's not going to be any other lines telling that he's not allowed to go there. Let's see if we can quicken this up a little bit so Malaysian gets down faster. Ah, that wasn't supposed to happen.
Tower, canvas 133 requesting
okay, then we
push
can
and start.
get the other. Cathay 134, runway 34 at Juliet.
Runway 34 at
Qantas
Juliet,
133,
K134.
pushback approved. Expect runway 34.
Ground, 34 pushback approved. Canvas 133. Tower, velocity to 04 with you, runway 27.
Velocity 204, runway 27, clear to land.
Runway 27 cleared to land, velocity to 04.
So let's... Come on, Malaysian. Give us the landing clearance. And then hopefully we can get a shot on Qantas. He is down now. Qantas 412, runway 16, cleared for takeoff upon reaching altitude 3000. Contact departure.
Runway 16 cleared for takeoff upon reaching altitude 3000. Contact departure, canvas for 12.
Come on. Give us a shot on you. Damn it. So I don't think it's possible,
Ground,
if you ask
canvas
me.
133 ready to taxi.
There's no cameras down there. Malaysian 149er. Taxi to terminal.
Taxi to terminal, Malaysian 149er.
Romeo Golf November Tango 13, continue taxi.
Continue taxi Romeo Golf November Tango 13.
Malaysian 149er. Taxi to terminal via Echo Alpha.
Taxi to terminal via Echo
Qantas
Alpha,
133,
149er.
runway 27.
Runway to 7 canvas 133. Tower, TIGGOZZ 501 requesting push and start.
Tigos 501, pushback approved, expect a runway 34.
Ground, 3 for
Okay, so
pushback
we'll
approved.
put this down here so we can see
TIGGOZZ
better.
501.
Yeah, what a shame. I thought it was possible to have a look up there, but we won't be able to get most of the aircrafts down on 27. So if we have large aircrafts,
For 05
well, we
with you, runway to
could
7.
open up 16, and whilst there will be planes coming in on 16 and 27, we may get a gap. That may be possible.
Ground,
Qantas 405, runway 27, clear to land.
taxi. Runway to 7 cleared to land canvas for 05.
Tigos 501. Tigos 501. Runway 34 at Juliet.
Runway 34 at Juliet TIGGOZZ 501.
Just sort of thinking what we can do, if we can either let them land on, if we're going to have them land from top to bottom to see if they get off Echo and Golf maybe, or if they will push all the way down to Juliet, which is going to be longer the longest. When they come from the south, or from the north, no, from the south in this case, coming up north, they will usually get off Echo. Yeah, difficult to say really. Haven't figured it out yet. Qantas flight 133, runway 27 cleared for takeoff upon reaching altitude 3000, contact departure. Forgot about him. Qantas 133, runway 27 cleared for takeoff upon reaching altitude 3000, contact departure. Come on,
Runway to
get
7
going.
cleared for takeoff upon reaching altitude 3000, contact departure canvas 133.
Cathay 134, runway 34, line up and wait.
Tower, Rex 3554 with you, runway to 7.
Rex 3554, runway 27 clear to land. Yeah, these
Runway
Rex ones, they are the
34
difficult
contact
ones.
runway 34.
They are
Runway to
Australian
7 cleared to
Express
land, Rex 3554.
lines. So yeah, you need to be careful when there's large aircrafts following them. Could be quite dangerous. So let's get Qantas up in the air. Come on, get around the corner there. Get your speedy boots on. And get going, mate. Malaysian 149er, continue taxi.
Continue taxi Malaysian 149er.
So that may be an opportunity if we, because what I don't want to do is I don't want to have aircrafts to go around. So try not to do that if that's possible. I don't know. I'm not sure yet. If top to bottom may be the easiest bit, but then we would have to have everybody departing from the top. We could let them start from Echo. That would be possible. But then we have the problems with the arrivals on 27 coming towards them on Echo. Difficult. Difficult. But definitely challenging. This is very interesting, I might have to add. Look at all this lush greenery, no houses whatsoever. This is like in the 1900s when an airport was built far away from the city, and nowadays the city has built itself around every airport in the world, and grass is something that you certainly do not see in the vicinity of an airport anymore.
TIGGOZZ 58 requesting push and start.
Tigos 582, pushback approved, expect runway 34.
Ground 3 for a pushback approved. TIGGOZZ 5A2.
But we can always work things out on future episodes. See how we go. We'll try out things all around from bottom to top, top to bottom. Just get things organized. So we need to get Cathay up in the air. It's going to be difficult enough.
Runway to 7.
Come on, quickly. It's going to be too tight. Cathay needs plenty of runway to get off. Cathay 134, runway 34 cleared for takeoff. I'm not even going to tell him to contact departure at 3000. We need every second here. Tigos 582, runway 34 at Juliet.
Runway 34 at Juliet.
Velocity 204, taxi to terminal via November Echo. Oh, it's too late.
Taxi to terminal, velocity to 04.
Tigos 501, runway 34, line up and wait.
Runway 34, line up and wait. TIGGOZZ 501.
So we got him off board. So we have plenty of room between those two Rexies. So that's good. We have Qantas flight coming in. We may be able to get Tigos up in the air. Tigos. It's Tiger Australia. Domestic aircraft. Rex 3653, runway 27, clear to land.
Runway to 7.
Capital Jet 461, runway 27, clear to land.
Runway to 7 cleared to land. Capital Jet for 61.
Cathay 134, contact departure.
Tower. Capital Jet for 61.
Don't want to forget him.
Runway to 7. Roger. Good morning.
Okay, we won't be able to get Qantas, get the Tiger up in the air. When I moved to Australia for the first time, when I moved over there in 1982, I believe it was, certainly was no Tiger Air. Tigos 501, runway 34 cleared for takeoff.
Runway 34 cleared for takeoff. TIGGOZZ 501.
TIG 582.
Tower. Jet.
Tigos 582, runway 34, line up and wait. Jetstar 502, pushback approved. Expect a runway 34.
Ground.
Qantas 405, taxi to terminal.
502.
Qantas 405, taxi to terminal via November Echo.
Taxi to terminal via November Echo, canvas for 05. Runway 34, line up and wave. TIGGOZZ 5A2.
Okay, that distance went quite well. So we got him off the air, up in the air. It's good. Yes, when I came to Australia at first, the domestic aircrafts they had there was, I believe, TAA, Trans-Australian Airways, and Ansett Airways. So maybe you'd like to leave in the comments if anybody remembers them. Anybody has any affiliation with
Ground.
Velocity 204, continue taxi. Jetstar 502, runway 34 at Juliet. If anybody has any connections with Australia, whether they've been there, lived there, done whatever, Tigos 501, contact departure.
Roger. Good morning.
I'll just, I don't know if it's, I'll make this just a little bit smaller. I had a comment before saying that it may be just too small. I hope this is good enough to still read. Yeah, those were the only one, TAA and NSET. I don't believe they exist anymore. Tigos 582, runway 34 cleared for takeoff upon reaching altitude 3000, contact departure.
Runway 34 cleared for takeoff upon reaching altitude 3000, contact
Jetstar
departure.
502, runway 34, line up and wait. Rex 3554, taxi to terminal via November Echo Alpha.
Taxi to terminal via November Echo Alpha X3554. Runway 34 line up and wait, Jetstar 502.
Okay, as we can see that Capital Jet is catching up on Rex very, very high. So I don't know, we'll have to see if we can slow him down somehow, or we will have to ask him to go around. Qantas flight 405, continue taxi. Qantas flight 405, no. Qantas 405, continue taxi.
Continue taxi Qantas for
Capital Jet is catching up fast.
313 requesting push
I think we will not be able to stop him beforehand. I'm not sure.
Rex 3152 requesting push.
Rex 3152, pushback approved. Expect runway 34. As you can see,
3 for push
down the bottom here,
Rex 3152.
he is catching up a lot because he's down to 95 knots now and he's still at 166, so he needs to hopefully slow down a lot. Velocity 313, pushback approved. Expect runway 34. See if we can get him to hold short somehow. So there's Rex coming in now.
Rex 315 to ready to taxi.
Hopefully we will be, should be good enough, hopefully. Rex 3152, runway 34 at Juliet. Could be close.
Runway 34 at Juliet, Rex 315.
Should be enough. Jetstar 531, runway 27, clear to land. So Rex is down, but look at this, how quickly he is catching up.
Ready to taxi.
Come on, Rexy. Velocity 313, runway 34 at Juliet.
Runway 34 at Juliet, velocity 313.
So we should get, there he is now. See how fast he's coming in. Capital Jet 461, hold short on taxiway November.
Hold short of taxiway November, Capital Jet 461.
Rex 3653, taxi to terminal via November Echo Alpha.
Tower, velocity 304 with you, runway 27.
See if we can
Taxi to
stop
terminal
him.
Via November Echo
Come on,
Alpha
Capital Jet.
3653.
Hit the brakes.
Hours, Indonesia 719 nerd requesting
You
push.
see him up the
start.
top there? Oh, actually, let me just put this down just a little bit. Oh, he was unable to stop, but is he going to get past him? Oh, yes. Oof. Look at this, how close that was. Wow. Jetstar 502, runway 34 cleared for takeoff upon reaching altitude 3000, contact departure.
Runway 34 cleared for takeoff upon reaching altitude 3000, contact departure Jetstar 502.
Indonesia 719er, pushback approved, expect runway 34. Wow.
Ground 34 pushback approved.
Velocity 304, runway 27 clear to land. Velocity 304. Runway 27 clear to land.
Runway 27 cleared to land, velocity 304.
Capital Jet 461, taxi to terminal. Rex 3257, runway 27 clear to land.
Runway 27 cleared
Rex
to land.
3554, continue taxi.
Continue taxi Rex 3554.
Rex 3152, runway 34, cleared for... No.
Taxi to terminal
Rex
capital
3152,
jet for
runway
61.
34, line up and wait.
Negative. Rex 3152. Runway 34 line up and wait. Rex 3152.
Okay, that's working okay.
Rex 3257 with you. Runway 27.
Hey, this is certainly a very interesting way that they have managed to put in, with such an airport, put in some different difficulties in here, which is working out very, very nice. Rex 3152, runway 34, cleared for takeoff upon reaching altitude 3000, contact departure.
Runway 34 cleared for takeoff upon reaching
Indonesia
altitude
719er,
3000, contact
he's
departure.
still
Rex
taxiing,
3152.
he's not ready yet.
Ground, Indonesia 719,
Now he
you're
is.
ready to taxi.
Indonesian 719er, runway 34 at Juliet.
Runway 34 at Juliet.
Velocity
Indonesia
313,
719.
runway 34, line up and wait.
Runway 34 line up and wait. Velocity 313.
Oh. Okay, we do not have the very, very large aircrafts at the moment, but there's still plenty of movement on the ground. Obviously, only 15 departures and arrivals so far.
New Zealand 722 requesting push and start.
Rex 3653, continue taxi.
Continue taxi Rex 3653.
So on my first flight when I went to Australia, we went by Philippine Airlines. And I believe I told that story before. When we arrived there, 7 o'clock in the morning, but we stayed all night at the airport, running around aircrafts, because there was just no security really. We were playing with other kids in the middle of the night. New Zealand 722 pushback approved. Expect runway 34.
Ground 34 pushback approved. New Zealand 722.
Okay, we will have plenty of aircrafts coming down
Tower.
here.
Velocity
Velocity 819
push
pushback
and
approved.
start.
Expect runway 34.
Ground 34 pushback approved. Velocity 819er.
See if we're capable of pushing one in between these two. If Jetstar is very fast, we may just be able to... But velocity is already 4 miles, 3.5 miles in. Could be difficult. Let's not worry about it. We've got plenty of time after the Rex one. Capital Jet 461, continue taxi.
Continue taxi Capital Jet for 61.
Okay, New Zealand
Ground,
gave it up. Velocity
you're ready to
819er,
taxi.
runway 34 at Juliet. Velocity 819er, runway 34 at Juliet.
Runway 34
Jetstar
at Juliet,
531,
velocity
taxi
819er.
to terminal via Echo Alpha Yankee Sierra.
Taxi to terminal via Echo Alpha Yankee Sierra Jetstar 531.
New Zealand 722, pushback approved. Expect runway 34.
Ground 34 pushback approved. New Zealand 722.
New Zealand was already trying to do this. As you can see, ANZ, meaning Air New Zealand, but there's actually an interesting story about Air New Zealand. Well, not Air New Zealand, but ANZ. There is a bank called Australia New Zealand Bank, and they have branches in Australia, of course. And in the end of the, no, in the, oh, what, let me, yeah, sometime during the 80s, let me just get organized here and get New Zealand on his way.
Ground New Zealand 722.
New Zealand 722, runway 34 at Juliet. New Zealand 722, runway 34 at Juliet.
Runway
Now we
34
got 'em.
at Juliet, New Zealand 722.
They had a little savings book that you could have, and they paid interest of, I believe it was 14 or 15%. Imagine that on your savings, interest 14 or 15, I think it was 14 or 15%. Unreal. So many interest then. Remember, and just imagine how it is today. You get nothing. 0.000%. That is nothing. Velocity 304, taxi to terminal via November Echo Alpha.
Taxi to terminal via November Echo Alpha, velocity 304.
So let's get, we need to get Rex down, and then we can finally have some departures going. Yes, that was the only bank that did that. We have different banks down there. It's called Westpac, Bank of Queensland, that's where I was, Commonwealth Bank. Different types of banks they have down there. Commonwealth Bank, a mate of mine had an account there, and he was trying to take out some money out of his account, and he had to, I believe, 3 or 4 or 5 times he had to repeat his signature because it wasn't as perfect as the lady expected it to be, thinking that it may be somebody else's. Velocity 213, pushback approved, expect runway 34.
Ground 3 for pushback approved. Velocity 213. Tower. Vietnam Airlines 781 with you. Runway 27.
Vietnam Airlines 781. Runway 27, clear to land.
Runway 27 cleared to land. Vietnam Airlines 781.
So finally we're going to get all you guys out of here now. Come on, Rexy. So Air New Zealand, as we can see, on his way to Auckland, I believe. Velocity 313, runway 34 cleared for takeoff upon reaching altitude 3000, contact departure.
Runway 3
Velocity 213, runway 34 at Juliet.
Contact departure, velocity 313.
Indonesia 719, runway 34 cleared for takeoff upon reaching altitude 3000, contact departure.
Negative. Velocity 213. Runway 34 cleared for takeoff upon reaching altitude 3000, contact departure Indonesia 719er.
Velocity 213, runway 34 at Juliet.
Ground, velocity 213 ready to taxi.
Rex 3257, taxi to terminal via Echo Alpha Yankee.
Runway 34 at Juliet, velocity 213. Taxi to terminal via Echo Alpha Yankee Rex 3257.
Well, we're going to do some departures, and these guys up the top will just have to wait. Yes, guests and holiday tourists will be fuming, but that's just how the cookie crumbles, isn't it? Tough luck, folks. We need other people to get home. So Indonesia, he certainly, Garuda International, Garuda Indonesia certainly needs all the runway, all the way towards the end. Velocity 819, our runway 34, line up and wait. We cannot give him the command to get started immediately. It's just too dangerous because Garuda needs lots and lots and lots of runway. Garuda in the 80s used to be called the Carpet Airline. They were so run down, quality and everything was just so bad. Actually, look at this. We have now a view, and we might be able, if we are fortunate enough, see the end of the runway, because he does use all of it, as you can see. By the time he's going to get up, we may be able to see if there is a stop line there. There's nothing there. Now we can see the end. And no chance. There's just no chance that we could line up an aircraft there. We do have some red lines there. Velocity 819, runway 34, cleared for takeoff upon reaching altitude 3000, contact departure.
Runway 34 cleared for takeoff upon
New Zealand
reaching
722, runway 34, line up and wait.
Runway 3
TGOS 214, pushback approved, expect runway. TGOS 214, pushback approved, expect runway 34.
Ground 3 for pushback approved. TIGGOZ 214.
See if we can get New Zealand up as well before Vietnam is coming in. If New Zealand rushes and hurries up, then we can get the other three across when the other one, Vietnam, is going by. I think that looks pretty good. Come on. This is looking good. New Zealand 722, runway 34, cleared for takeoff upon reaching altitude 3000, contact departure. Off you go.
3 for cleared for
Velocity 213, runway 34, line up and wait.
Departure New Zealand 722. Ground TIGGOZ 21 for ready to taxi.
TGOS 214, runway 34 at Juliet.
Runway 3 for line up and way, velocity 213.
Qantas flight, not
Runway
Qantas
3
flight.
for at Juliet,
Qantas
TIGGOZ
608,
214.
pushback approved, expect runway 27.
Tower, Jetstar 771 with you, runway 27.
Qantas 674, runway 27, clear to land.
Ground,
Jetstar 771, runway 27, clear to land.
Runway 27
Jetstar 531, continue taxi.
771.
Jetstar 531, continue taxi.
Continue taxi Jetstar 531. Runway 27 cleared to land, Canvas 674. Tower, Canvas 608 requesting push and start.
Unfortunately, we're not in Brisbane because I could tell many stories about that airport up there. They used to have the international airport way far away from the domestic airport. Nowadays everything is, well, next to each other and a lot more modern and very beautiful and nice. So actually we're going to have velocity get up now as soon as we get the okay from Vietnam Airlines.
Ground, Canvas 608 ready to taxi.
Qantas 608, runway 27.
Runway 27 Canvas 608. Tower, velocity 164 with you, runway 27.
Yeah, we will in a second as soon as we get the okay. Velocity 213, runway 34, cleared for takeoff upon reaching altitude 3000, contact departure.
Runway 3 for cleared for takeoff upon reaching
TGOS 214.
Departure velocity 213.
TGOS 214, runway 34, line up and wait.
Runway 3 for line up and wait, TIGGOZ 214.
Velocity 164, runway 27, clear to land.
Tower,
Qantas 414, pushback
requesting
approved,
push and
expect
start.
runway 27.
Ground, 27 pushback approved. Canvas 414. Runway 27 cleared to land, velocity 164.
Actually, we may get TGOS up in the air as well before Qantas is down, so that would be good. We should do that. We should. This airport, you need every opportunity that we can get planes up in the air. TGOS 214, runway 34, cleared for takeoff upon reaching altitude 3000, contact departure. As you can see, Qantas 608 is doing some donuts down here. Vietnam Airlines 781, taxi to terminal via Echo.
Taxi to terminal via Echo, Vietnam Airlines 781.
Qantas 904, runway 27, clear to land. Wow, look at this!
Canvas night nerd
We have a 380-800 landing on 27, so that runway obviously is long enough, so this is excellent. Qantas 414, runway 27. Wow.
Runway to 7 canvas for 1
Velocity 304, continue taxi. This is really good.
Velocity 304.
Wow. I didn't know that was long enough, that runway. Or if this is just a compromise in the game, I don't know. But whatever it is, that is certainly good. That makes this game a lot easier to play then. Because otherwise, if you can't have the large aircrafts landing on 2.7, you certainly wouldn't have a chance to get them to start. But this is certainly a very, very, very interesting situation here. Of course, right now it's virtually impossible to get the Qantas flights up in the air, if you can see how many are on their way to land. So I think we're going to move them around, see where these guys are going. Velocity is going down here. Rex 3257, continue taxi.
Continue taxi Rex 3257.
Qantas 414, runway 34 at Juliet. Qantas 414, runway 34 at Juliet. Qantas 608, runway 34 at Juliet.
Runway 34 at Juliet canvas.
I think we're going to change them around because it's just too much coming from right to left. Rex 3257, continue taxi.
Continue taxi Rex 3257.
Because we won't have any chances at all in pushing them in between there. Qantas 674, taxi to terminal via Echo.
Taxi to terminal via Echo canvas 674.
Wow, we got the big 388 coming in. We got to have a look at this one because that's going to use all the runway that he needs all the way towards the end. But do we care? Nope. Do we like it? We certainly do. Very good. That was something I was worried about. So that'll give you guys the option to play the same simulation that we're using here. Qantas 608, hold position.
Hold position canvas 608.
Qantas 608, continue taxi.
Continue taxi canvas 608.
Well, this is looking a lot better now. Feeling a lot more relaxed. Yes, it usually, when you arrived at Brisbane Airport and you needed to go to the international terminal, I believe it took about 25 minutes from the time you've touched down until you were taxiing pretty much. Let me just show you basically on how it was. Jetstar 771 taxi to terminal via November Echo Alpha Yankee.
Taxi to terminal via November Echo Alpha Yankee Jetstar 771.
Vietnam Airlines 781, continue taxi.
Continue taxi Vietnam Airlines 781.
China Eastern 737, runway 27, clear to land. So
Runway
what would
27,
happen
clear to
is,
land, China
let's
Eastern
just
737.
pretend that this is the runway, this one here, and you would always arrive from the south, from this side here, which wouldn't be the south, it would have been from the west. You would come down here, land, and then you would have to sort of turn around the back, and then you would have to come around here, around here, around here, around here, all the way down the bottom until you would finally come somewhere this area here. That was just, wow. It took forever. It was really, really long. So how are we doing over here now? Look, things are looking good here. We got planes moving. Velocity 164, taxi to terminal via November Echo Alpha Golf.
Taxi to terminal via November Echo Alpha Golf
Okay,
Velocity
we don't want that.
164.
Velocity 164, taxi to terminal via November Echo Alpha Uniform.
Taxi to terminal via November Echo Alpha Uniform Velocity
Qantas
164.
674, continue taxi. So we got the
Continue
big
taxi, Qantas
388 coming in here now. Where is he? There he is. There's the monster. Oh, put a little stop in there. Hope he's not going to go too far. Look at this, isn't it a beautiful sight? A flying kangaroo. Wow. Oh yes, thank you. Certainly need that. I'll take this away if you want to do some screenshots. Wow. Isn't this excellent? Okay, you can turn left now. Thank you. Okay. Enough of this. Back to business. Qantas 608, runway 34, line up and wait.
Runway 34 line up and wait, canvas 608.
Qantas 904, taxi to terminal via Echo.
Taxi to terminal via Echo, canvas 904.
Qantas 608, runway 34, cleared for takeoff upon reaching altitude 3000, contact departure.
Runway 34 cleared for takeoff.
Rex 3656, pushback approved, expect runway 34.
Tower, Rex 3656 requesting push and start. Ground, 3 for pushback approved. Rex 3656. Tower, Jet Star 575 with you, runway 27.
Qantas 414, runway 34, line up and wait. Jetstar 575, runway 27, clear to land. Rex 3656, runway 34 at Juliet.
Runway 34 at Juliet, Rex 3656. Runway 27 cleared to land, Jetstar 575. Runway 34 line up and wait, canvas for 14. Ground, Rex 3656 ready to taxi.
Jetstar 771, continue taxi.
Continue taxi, Jetstar 771.
So you have the terminal, the tower far away from pretty much everything, which is quite unusual. I mean, I do not know how the airport really looks like in Melbourne, even though I was there, but I didn't really consider anything since it was, I believe, 1991 or something like that when I was there, arrived there. Velocity 164, continue taxi.
Continue
See if he takes the command or if he's going to hold short. Well, he's holding short, yep. Velocity 164, continue taxi.
Continue taxi, velocity 164.
There's the big one coming. There's China Eastern. Bringing lots of lovely Asians to Australia, spending their holidays there. on average, if a couple who intends to get married or who has been married and on their honeymoon to Australia, they would usually spend, or they would usually stay there for 1 week, not even 10 days, just 1 week really, and they would spend more than $10,000 in just that week. Qantas 414, runway 34 cleared for takeoff upon reaching altitude 3000, contact departure.
Runway 34 cleared for takeoff upon reaching
Rex
altitude
3656,
3000,
runway
contact
34, line up and wait.
Runway 34 line up and wait, Rex 3656.
China Eastern 737, taxi to terminal via Mike Echo. I do not know where he's going.
Taxi to terminal via Mike Echo, China Eastern 737.
Yes, they would spend at least $10,000 with all sorts of things, usually just souvenirs. Yeah, do quite a bit of shopping there. So this is quite amazing. And possibly another interesting fact that you may be interested to know. Qantas 904, continue taxi. I mean, that wasn't what you're interested in. That wasn't what you wanted to hear. But if you know the shoes, Uggs, UGG, Uggs, these sheepskin, these sheepskin shoes that you can buy, which are very warm. There's actually all the Uggs that you see all over the world are actually not made by an Australian company. These are all made from China. Even though it does say UGG Australia, UGG Australia, that is not true. You will see. Let me just get Rex up in the air. Rex 3656, runway 34 cleared for takeoff upon reaching altitude 3000, contact departure.
Runway 34 cleared for takeoff.
The real company, the only company that is actually making the correct Uggs is in Burleigh in Queensland, Australia, south of the Gold Coast, south of Surfers Paradise. It's a place called Burleigh, and they are the ones that are actually doing correct Uggs. And they have the they don't have the patent. I spoke to the owner. He spoke to me and he says that it's just they didn't have the money to get the patent going, and unfortunately the Chinese were a lot faster and they are doing the world market, whereas he is only allowed to sell in Australia. Qantas 1011, pushback approved. Expect runway 27.
Ground 27, pushback approved.
So if you ever see any Uggs, or if you do have Uggs and you believe you have something from sheepskin made in Australia, have a look and you will see there is a made in China label somewhere on your shoes. And these shoes are not from Australia. They are allowed to call themselves UGG Australia because they have to have at least 5% of the material made in Australia. And I believe they do, I'm not quite sure, I think they do the sole or something like that, just something really minor, and everything else they just produce somewhere else, especially or definitely not in Australia, and that is very, very unfortunate. Qantas 1011, runway 27.
Runway 27, canvas 1011.
Yes, so this is a very, very sad story there. Well, we're already up for an hour, and fortunately no penalties. That's very good. So we'll just quickly get these up in the air. The last Qantas flight, China Eastern 737, continue taxi.
Continue taxi, China Eastern 737.
Jetstar 575, taxi to terminal via November Echo Alpha Yankee.
Taxi to terminal via November Echo Alpha Yankee, Jetstar 575.
Velocity 206, runway 27, clear to land.
Runway 27 cleared to land, velocity to 06.
Yeah, so that company certainly deserves a lot better. They do have some branches down at the Surfers Paradise and I believe in Sydney. They do a lot of online, but due to the circumstances that the European market and the American market is completely under the hands of the Chinese, they are unfortunately unable to grow. So yeah, very, very sad story there for them. The father of the now owner was the one who made UGG, and unfortunately the Chinese were a lot more wealthier and had a lot more opportunities, so unfortunately that didn't work out. Qantas 1011, runway 27, cleared for takeoff. Upon reaching altitude 3000, contact departure.
Runway 27 cleared for takeoff. Upon reaching altitude 3000, contact departure canvas 1011.
So to sum it up, if ever you see UGGs made in Australia, even if it says made in Australia, you have a look and you will find a tiny little label saying made in China, even though they say UGG Australia, Australian made or whatever. Unfortunately, they're not. So the only UGGs you can get are the real ones in Australia, with merino sheep, very, very expensive sheep, very, 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 very good quality. And well, shout out to those guys, and if ever you are in need, well, you can always call them. Again, they are in Burleigh, and that is in Queensland. Okay, everybody, we are down for an hour. This was a first session here in Melbourne. For me, it was the second session. The first one, I have to admit, didn't go that well. But this one looks a lot smoother running. We'll certainly do this airport more and more and more again. I like it a lot. It's a very, very difficult airport, and we'll see how we go. Yes. So if you enjoyed this, please subscribe. Imagine you could be subscriber number 23. Yes, there are others who have thousands and thousands and thousands, and I have yeah, just a little bit, 22. What a shame, but that's how it is. So if you did enjoy, and if you are new to this channel, please subscribe. And if you'd like to subscribe, I would like to welcome you wholeheartedly. If you would like to leave a comment down below because there was something that you found interesting, there was something you found definitely not interesting at all, if there is anything that you would like to know, ask questions whatsoever, you put them down in the comments. And if you thought this was a good video, then well, press the like button, possibly hit the notification bell. This one is coming out immediately as soon as I finish this one and put it up in the air, because usually I will do it on Wednesdays and Saturdays, but this is Melbourne, this is new, and we got to get it out there, be one of the first ones to release at least some sort of level of what we of Melbourne, to give you guys a general idea. As you can see, in an hour, not really that much happened, but I was able to tell you a few stories about Australia. If you're interested in listening to more stories about Australia, where I've been, and the United States, where I've spent a lot of time in as well, there will be a Vegas video coming up in about a week or so. And there'll be some interesting stories from my first time in when I got to Las Vegas. And I will continue on my Australian story, which I've already started in one of my previous videos. That will continue as well. So until then, I would like to say thank you for everybody. You guys take care, everybody. You stay safe, you stay healthy, and you try to be as fortunate as you can be. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you.